Here's the truth, words don't work. You can memorize gato, mesa, libro, but when you try to talk, your brain freezes. That's why today, I want you to copy the strategy of chunking and using Powerphrase packs, because they'll get you speaking faster than single words ever could. Let's get into it. So today we're talking about why memorizing words fails and how chunking phrases unlocks fluency for you. Hola, soy Profe Don Omar, creator of Speak Spanish Now and what I like to call the Profe Formula. For the last 25 years, I've been teaching thousands of students and busy adults just like you to learn to speak Spanish confidently. For decades, I've seen numerous learners waste time on vocabulary lists only to give up. But when you make the decision to learn in chunks, you actually speak Spanish. So let's break down why chunking is the shortcut your brain has been searching for. So up first, we've got reason number one. Words leave you stuck, phrases move you forward. When you only use single words like pan or agua, you just can't sashay into a restaurant and yell out, pan, and expect results. That's why so many learners freeze when they try to talk. But if you learn the phrase, puedo tener más pan, or puedo tener agua, por favor, you've got a ready-made sentence that actually works. No pausing, no building word by word. Check this out. Words leave you stuck, but phrases unlock real conversations. That's why phrases, not words, yellow brick road to fluency your brain has been waiting for. And here's the cool part. Later in this video, I'll show you how my Powerphrase packs can actually start you speaking Spanish today. I'm talking about skipping word lists and jumping directly into real conversation. So let's take a look at how chunks sneak grammar into your brain without you ever having to open up a textbook. Coming in at razón número dos, tenemos your brain craves pattern recognition. Dr. Alex Steinberg explains that our brains are wired for pattern recognition. This just means that your brain hunts for repeated shapes, sounds, or structures so it doesn't have to start fresh each time. So here's how pattern recognition works when you're learning Español. Step one, your brain kind of taps into supercharge mode. Por ejemplo, cuando oyes quiero comer, your brain starts to spot a pattern. Entonces podemos decir quiero comer tacos, quiero comer pizza, quiero comer algo. Then all you have to do is swap tacos, pizza, algo for whatever word or thing that it is that you want to eat. Por ejemplo, yo puedo usar cereales, desayuno, o una hamburguesa con papas fritas. What we're doing right here is instantly multiplying your usable Spanish. We're talking about stacks on stacks on stacks, baby. So say, for example, you're an investor. All we're doing is compounding our interest. What's our interest? The alternatives that we can utilize in place of tacos, pizza, algo. If you're not an investor, you can also look at it like this. If you know anything about the Gremlins, the movie, right, from the 80s, and let me know in the comments below if you know what I'm talking about when I say the Gremlins, right? What happened to the Gremlins when they got wet? Exacto. You got more gremlins. When you chunk, you're not memorizing single words. You're identifying a pattern that your brain can reuse over and over again. This is exactly why it feels like a shortcut. One chunk suddenly unlocks dozens of real and ready-to-use sentences. You don't just memorize them, you see the frame. What do I mean when I say the frame? I want you to imagine how the process starts when you're building a house versus how it ends. It's a process, sin duda. Your frame is your structure that gives you the foundation you need to become a confident Spanish speaker. Mira estos ejemplos. Aquí tenemos voy a trabajar, voy a descansar, y voy a practicar español. What is your frame here? Exacto. Voy a. I'm going to. If you're gaining value from today's video, be sure to smash that like button and consider sharing this with someone you know is trying to become a confident Spanish speaker. There is strength in numbers. Now, let's get back to the rest of the video. Coming in at razón número tres, tenemos chunks unlock grammar automatically. Here's the truth. Grammar can feel like a mountain of rules, but chunks sneak the rules in without you realizing it. Mira aquí, tenemos tengo que estudiar. Inside this one phrase, you've already picked up número uno, a verb conjugation, a connector word, and an infinitive verb. And lastly, you identified the pattern recognition of the phrase tengo que, I have to. In other words, chunks act like grammar cheat codes. Your brain learns how Spanish works without having to memorize rules. And stick around because in a few minutes, I'll show you how to make these chunks automatic with a trick called nano-repetition. It takes just seconds a day and it beats flashcards every time. Coming in at razón número 4, tenemos tipping points make you fluent faster. A tipping point is that breakthrough moment. It's where suddenly Spanish feels natural and not forced. And get this, the fastest way to get there isn't words. It's high frequency chunks that you use every day. Como no sé qué decir. Oh, está bien, no importa. Think of it like this. Chunks get you to fluency tipping points quicker because they give you real conversation tools immediately. And once you hit that tipping point, nano-repetition is what makes it stick in your long-term memory. So which brings us to razón número 5, which is nano-repetition. This is quite possibly my favorite reason as to why nano-repetitions beat flashcards of any type every single time. Check it out. Nano-repetition simply means repeating something in tiny bites so small you barely notice you're even practicing. So instead of spending countless hours studying flashcards, you sneak Spanish into your day where you take these short but powerful chunks and repeat them quickly, anywhere between 2 to 4 minutes a cycle. Pero ¿cómo, profe? Qué bueno que lo preguntas. Aquí tengo unos ejemplos para ti. Antes de comer, di, tengo hambre. Antes de irte, di, nos vemos. So what's your key takeaway? Nano-repetition makes Spanish automatic because small daily repeats lock chunks into your brain without the stress of studying. Para razón número 6, combining nano-repetitions with Powerphrase packs. Now, when you combine nano-repetitions with your Powerphrase pack, that's when the real magic happens. The old ways and days of learning Spanish are long gone. I'm talking about being given a vocabulary list of 30 to 40 words, studying it extensively, only to be quizzed on about 10 to 15 words, and I guarantee you, 10 out of 10 times, you couldn't put those words together to make one complete sentence. Ask me how I know. Hoy en día, mis clientes no solo aprenden palabras varias, I supply them with Powerphrase packs. Now, if you don't know what a Powerphrase pack is, I'll link the video to the Profe formula in the description below. But a Powerphrase, which is the P in the Profe formula, is basically a high-frequency chunk you actually say and use in real life. But full bites like, ¿Dónde está el baño? And what you're going to get with that is la frase en español, la frase en inglés, y el sonido fonético. So you're going to get the Spanish, the English, and the phonetic spelling that you need in order to pronounce it correctly. Essentially, you're getting more bang for your buck. ¿Cómo? ¿Por qué? ¿Dónde está el baño? One phrase, 4 words, unlimited possibilities that you can utilize with that ¿Dónde está? You simply have to replace el baño with something else. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? ¿Dónde está la escuela? ¿Dónde está la estación de tren? Whatever you want to use there. Multiples. High frequency chunks like these work everywhere. Aquí están más ejemplos. ¿Cómo estás? No entiendo. Necesito ayuda, por favor. You can't lose with Powerphrase packs because they give you instant survival Spanish so you can actually speak even as a super beginner. Put it like this. Powerphrase packs will not only transform the way you learn, they'll also make each phrase stick rápidamente. But most importantly, this strategy will help you make your phrases smooth like butter, baby. One of the main reasons you need to ditch memorizing single words at a time is because chunks help mirror how kids learn their native tongue. Think about it like this. Kids that surpass their toddler age don't learn language word by word. They copy whole expressions like, I don't know, or let's go. Un ejemplo perfecto. Now, if you were an avid fan of Dora the Explorer, let's take her for example. When Dora comes on, what does she start every episode with? At least the later episodes. Hola, soy Dora. By the way, I think I know somebody that kind of does the same similar thing. Anywho, and what did Dora always say when it was time for an adventure? Vámonos or vamos. As an adult, we can use the same strategy in Espanol. Chunks like no sé or vamos work the exact same way. In other words, chunking copies the natural way humans learn language. So it feels easier and sticks longer. Learn phrases instead of just a word by word situation. So in the long run, as adults, we can use the same concept to learn Spanish. Chunks like no sé or vamos work the exact same way. In other words, chunking copies the natural way humans learn language. So it feels easier and sticks longer. So before we land the plane, to recap, today you learned the 7 big reasons why learning Spanish word by word doesn't work and why chunks are the true secret to success. Primero dijimos, words don't talk, phrases do. You just can't say book and start a conversation. But a chunk like ¿Dónde está mi libro? Now you're talking. En número dos dijimos, your brain loves patterns. When you see a chunk like quiero comer, you can swap in tacos, pizzas, hamburguesas, anything you want to. One chunk equals many sentences. Y razón número tres dijimos, chunks teach grammar without rules. En tengo que estudiar, you learn verbs, connectors, and structure, all without studying friggin' conjugation charts and vocabulary lists. En número cuatro tuvimos, chunks hit tipping points faster. Master a few chunks like no sé qué decir, and suddenly Spanish starts to click. Número cinco fue, nano-repetition combined with Powerphrase packs. Nano-repetition makes it stick. Tiny repeats like tengo hambre before meals lock Spanish into your brain via routine without the extra hours of study. Coming in at número 6, Powerphrases, aka Survival Kit. My Powerphrase packs give you the chunks you'll use every day. Como, ¿cómo estás? No entiendo. O ¿dónde está el baño? Y número 7, chunks copy how kids learn their native tongue. Kids don't learn word by word. They copy phrases like let's go. Adults can do the same in Spanish. Check it out. Words alone are like puzzle pieces with no picture. Chunks, on the other hand, they produce the full picture. They save time, they make sense, and let you actually speak Spanish. So don't chase single words. Start using chunks today, and Spanish will finally start to stick for you. Now, if you know me, I love a good acronym. Y el acrónimo de hoy es chunks. Entonces, here's how you can put these 7 reasons to memory. Mira, communicate, don't memorize. Harness patterns. That's your pattern recognition. Unlock grammar naturally. Nano-repetition. Kickstart tipping points. Speak like a native. All of these follow into the 7 reasons as to why we want you to focus on chunks and power phrases as opposed to learning vocabulary word by word. Now that you're ready to grab chunks by the horns, let me know in the comments. What will be your first power phrase pack that you'll master tonight? And if you're ready to find out more about the Profe formula, click this video right here and I'll see you there. Soy Profe Don Omar, your guide on how to speak Spanish now. Nos vemos.